Hello. Welcome to Monday. Whew, how did it get to Monday again? It's ridiculous. We are at episode number 586. Can you even believe it? It's ridiculous. Zooming our way towards 600. It'll happen in a couple of weeks. Very exciting. So what I wanted to chat with you a bit about today is all things content, and I guess it's slightly different to what we've been talking about recently. So as you know, what I've been chatting with you about in the more recent weeks has been around the importance of sharing stuff about yourself, the importance of sharing your own thoughts, feelings, insights, stories, all of that kind of thing. And it's really important that we do that. And I guess I was explaining to a woman that I have never spoken to before. I was talking to her today about why we do this. And I thought I'd just clarify this before we jump into the next sort of the main sort of content, I guess, for today. I guess a part of the reason, or the main reason that I will share things like us going to the gym, I'll share our smoothies, I'll share, my husband and I laughing, or me in the car being grumpy because he was demanding that he was right about something. I'm like, dude, you're so not right. And the reason that I share that kind of stuff is because it demonstrates and it shares with you without you having to sit there going, it talks into what my values are, right? So I want to work with people who share similar values to me, who share family values, who share, the fact that we need to implement, that we might need to work hard, that, but there's also balance there. Health is really important to me, as you all know. I think it's really important that we've got other things outside of our businesses that we're excited about and that we're passionate about and stuff like that. So that's one of the main reasons why I share a lot of the types of posts that I do. It's why I talk about coffee, because I want to work with people who don't hate coffee drinkers, for example. So I suppose that to me seems like really obvious content to share. It's the sharing of you that's going to cut through the noise, that helps other people go, oh yeah, I think I'd actually get along with this person. So for instance, if I found out that one of my clients, whether it's someone that I know and have been working with at a high level or in a lower end program, if you guys are coming through town, I'd be devastated if you hadn't reached out. I might not be available, but if you can say, oh, hey, do you want to catch up for coffee or whatever? I'd be like, yeah, this would be amazing. And I would only want to do that with people that I connect with, that I like, and stuff like that. So that's sort of a big reason why we share the types of posts that I do that are not business related. It's to weed out the people that, quite frankly, I'm probably not going to get along with. So that's one big type of content. Style of content. The other style of content is the other one that I'm really passionate about talking about. And this is almost like your thought leadership. You might like to think about it like that. You might like to think about it from a place of this is how you demonstrate your advice. This is how you demonstrate your professional thinking. This is how you talk to your audience and things like that, and help take them from point A to point B or C or Z or however far you take them. So one of the things I remember being asked, and it was quite a while ago actually, many years ago, I was asked, so what's the transformational value that you provide? And I was like, I don't really understand what you mean. They said, what is it that you actually really do? And I'm like, well, I just, I coach people. I help pull ideas out of their brain and use it to create content, and it's fun and awesome. And that's great, right? So that's usually your key overarching message, is you'll have something kind of like an elevator pitch or something like that, if you like, or the way that you might introduce yourself at a networking event. But then when I was asked, and I remember being asked this actually in 2011 or 2012, I was asked by a mentor of mine. I said, so Nicola, what's your 4-step process? I'm like, I don't really know. I just know what I do. Like, do I need to have a process? And like, well, no, but it does make life easier for you. And it really threw me. So in my head, being I'm quite a literal person. If you ask me, so what's your 4-step process? I will sit there and I'm like, all right, so what is my 4 steps? Shit, I don't have 4 steps. Like I've got 5 steps or 7 steps or 3 steps or, 25 steps or, we get really caught up in, hey, Chrissy, I used to get really caught up in all of the things that people need to do in order to actually get a result. But when we're creating our content, our businessy content, when we're creating our business type content and we are trying to help people and educate people and give people advice, we've got to remember that we know probably 98% more than what our audience does. And we don't mean this disrespectfully to our audience. We're not insinuating anything. But what we do know is that you are the expert at what it is that you do and in the way that you do it. And our audience are like miles behind in terms of knowledge or support or, whatever it is that you're doing. They don't know 98% of the stuff that you know. So one of the big key things here when you're creating business content is you want to make things really simple for people to understand. And to me, it's like if you can break your stuff down into 4 steps, that will make it a hell of a lot easier for you to get out there and articulate what you do, how you do it, who you do it for, and the process that you step your people through. So what I thought I would share with you today are 4 steps. See what I did there? 4 steps that you can go through to make it really simple for your audience. So step 1 is, what are your logical, simple steps, right, that you help your people with? And the thing that I want you to think about with this is going quite big picture with it. Right? So if you were going, all right, well, to get a new tattoo, I've just caught sight of my, some work that I just had done recently. So let's say that you wanted a new tattoo, and the big picture steps for getting a new tattoo might be, all right, the first thing that you need to do, you guys, is decide where on your body do you want it. Right, sounds pretty obvious, but that's the first thing. The second thing might be, what kind of design would you like, or what story would you like your tattoo to tell? The third thing might be, you've got to decide whether you want black and white or color. Not black and white, or black or color, or maybe white, or whatever you want. What kind of colors do you like? And then the fourth thing is, who are you going to get to do it, right? Now, here's the thing that we know. In each of those 4 steps, you can break those down into more, we call it chunking down. You can break those down into smaller steps and smaller steps and smaller steps and smaller steps. But the big picture thing would be those 4 things. If you're someone who is let's say that you're a health coach, the first thing that you might really work on with people, forget what they actually need, right? Or the work that you do. The first thing that people probably need to do is to maybe do a stock take of determining where they're at now. Where are you actually at right now? Because most people are respectfully delusional as to where they are in their health right now. They either think they're more healthy than they are, or they think they're more unhealthy in what they are, or if you're like me, perhaps over the years you might have had some, body dysmorphia where what you see in the mirror is not actually the reality, or, whatever the case might be. So where are you actually at? The second thing is you've got to determine how it is that you want to be. The third thing that you probably need to work on is mindset, right? And all of those things that get in the way. And then the fourth thing might be reevaluating, reestablishing again, now that you know where you are, you know where you want to be, you know what things are going to get in the way. It's all right. Now let's get out there and take action. Let's go and do this. Let's go and build out your exercise program. Let's go and build out your way of eating plan. Let's go and do X, Y, Z, whatever it might be. So again, mindset as the third step in that example, mindset is a huge topic, right? We know that mindset can be your motivation, your inspiration, your negative self-talk. It can be the chatter that goes through. Like I was sitting in the gym this morning, not sitting in the gym. I was lying down at the gym this morning with the bar doing these, not like that. I was doing skull crushes with the bar, and my head was going like, oh, don't drop it on your head. That would really hurt you. Blah, 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 blah. You've gone heavier today than what you normally would, so I had all of this chatter going through my head. That can be a mindset thing. You can talk about the importance of music when you're doing different things, right? So as we know, like each of these things, each of those 3 or 4 steps that you map out for yourself, there's more detail that can go into it. The thing is this though, you guys, most of the time when you're showing up online and you're delivering your content, you're delivering your advice, people can't actually retain in their heads more than maybe 2 things to latch onto and 2 things to implement. It's a bit like my son and my kids, actually, all my kids, but particularly my son. I will give him 2 instructions at a time, right? And make sure he repeats them back to me to make sure he's got it. He's a smart kid. He's not stupid by any stretch of the imagination, but he gets distracted really easily. He doesn't always remember everything. And so I'm like, all right, Jake, what is it that you need to do? Your bed, your curtains, brush your teeth. And I'll say, so what do you need to do? And he'll go, bed, brush my teeth. He might forget the curtains or like whatever it is. So we want to make it really simple and give less things rather than more. We are blessed and both cursed with all of the knowledge that we have. We are blessed and cursed with all of the education that we have. We are blessed and cursed with what we're not really cursed. I take that back. We're not cursed at all. But it's both a blessing and an impingement, because what we like to do, and I know that you're probably the same as me, we're very generous. So if you're talking to someone, you're like, oh my gosh, like you've got to do this and do this and do this and do this and do this. Meanwhile, they're all the way back at, step 1. If you're trying to deliver 7 steps, they're all the way back at number 1 going like, okay, that sounds like a lot. All right. Yep. Okay. I've got you. And then you're already at like step 4, 5, 6. It can lead to them feeling really overwhelmed. So this is how sometimes your audience might feel when you're going and you're giving everything, like giving away the farm. And it can just become a little bit overwhelming and feel really big for them to implement. Now, one of the purposes or one of the reasons that we create business type content is to help our audience get to know us. It's to help them, get used to seeing you, used to hearing you, all of that. Getting results in advance, though, is one of the key core components and one of the key core reasons for you creating business type content, like your advice type content, like what we're doing today. So the reason that we want to do that is so that people can see that you know what you're talking about, that they can relate to you, but that they can go and implement that one thing that you've just shared with them so that they can get out there and get a result. So for example, what I would suggest that you all do today is work out what your 4 steps are. The way you do that is that you sit and go, all right, so what are the big picture things, the first big picture thing that somebody needs to do, and then what is the next thing, and then what is the next thing, and then what is the next thing? Keep it really simple. If I was to say that we had an overall fault in terms of the way that we are and how we are, generally speaking, is that we're over generous. We like to over deliver. We like to give and give a lot. And that's really lovely. But part of the problem is that it just makes it too big for our audience and we can lose them along the way. So we want to keep it really, really simple. We do know how so much. Yeah, right, Chrissy? It's really hard. It can be really hard, really challenging to break it down into 4 steps. But it really is one of the key core components of you being able to create really great, impactful content, right? So we've got our general content that we will put up, which is more like the sharing of the you. And then we've got our business type content, which is more of our authority content or our thought leadership style of content. And both are equally as important as each other, right? It's not that one is more important than the other or that you should do more of one or less than one. It's just making sure that you've got that balance of both of those things going out there all the time. Okay, amazing. I'm glad you're going to do this today. That is fantastic. All right. So that is what you need to do. Determine the 4 steps. Keep it really simple. I would not go any further than that. And then think about how you are going to articulate to your audience. And I challenge you to write a blog sharing your 3 or 4 steps, or go to a live stream sharing your 3 or 4 steps. Just keep it really big picture. Don't get down into too much detail. Go out there and do that, and then see what happens, and then assess, see what happens from there and what the results are that people get. Now, I also needed to let you know, I'm very excited. Chrissy, I know that you and I have been talking a little bit about this as well in our messages. I can finally confirm that Visible Live is open, the national tour is open and ready for you to register now, finally, for your capital city happening in June. Now, I'm beyond excited for this, as I'm sure you all can relate to. The fact that I get to be touring around the country is really exciting. I can't wait, COVID permitting, of course. You will be able to see the link in the comments there. What this is it's you and I and a reasonably smallish group of entrepreneurs hanging out for 2 whole business days, mapping out your content, your business content for the next 12 to 18 months. The reason that this is really important is because most people are saying, like, most people ask me, oh, I don't know how to create impactful content. I don't know how to stay on message. I don't know what my message is. How do I stay ahead of the game? How do I differentiate between me and new people coming in all the time? Visible Live is going to answer all of that for you. It provides a framework, a system, a structure that you can use over and over and over again, as well as having your content completely mapped out in a way that feels good for you, makes your heart sing, talks directly to your audience, and it's a whole ton of fun. So you can see the links in the comments there. It is happening from the middle of June, I think the 16th of June in Melbourne, and then right through ending up on the Gold Coast, I think 24th, 25th of June. So if you've got any questions about that, make sure you let me know. We are having a maximum of 10 people in per site. So jump in, make all of the things happen, and I can't wait to see you in the room in June. Oh, hey Janine, how are you? Oh, you should come to the Gold Coast. It'll be fabulous. All right. Have an amazing day, everybody. Get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. But most of all, remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesome. And if I don't see you before, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.